Hi, this is Ann McDonald with this week's quick tip. This week in our Walking in Wisdom class, we covered the concept of cliff management, which is really risk assessment for your creative brand. There are two types of creative categories that we fundamentally fall into. And I call them the why bother camp versus the why not camp. And at some point, each one of us as a creative in business is along that spectrum with respect to how we approach our creative businesses and how we engage in different opportunities. What I want you to do this week is to think about whether you are naturally a why bother creative. Why would I even bother engaging in that? I'm never going to get it right. I'm never going to succeed. It's kind of the Eeyore syndrome. Or if you're a why not creative, like why wouldn't I try that? Why wouldn't I, go jump off that proverbial cliff and see how far I can fly? The reason I want you to understand where you fall on that spectrum or consider how you process new ideas is because in order for you to successfully bring your so desperately needed creative gift to the marketplace to monetize it, if you're not able to understand how you're wired in this arena, you won't understand how to deal with the problems and the issues that arise that are just a normal, natural part of a business cycle. And once we know if you're kind of a why bother versus a why not, we can navigate those problems, those issues, those responses within the larger marketplace without having, kind of a disintegrating self. Let me give you two extreme examples. These are extreme examples. In the why bother type of creative, the whole concept is it's always going to fail. I'm never going to get it right, and what happens is a lot of the most genius creatives that I come up against are struggle with this because they're so gifted and so talented and have so much raw gifting to give that they feel very exposed in the marketplace when they actually show their real self. And so when we're constructing business systems to help that type of a creative, we really have to guard against having too much access to the person. So it helps us set up business systems that are unique to that type of creative. With the creative who's the why not creative, which is how where I would fall, we set up systems to alleviate some of the risk tendencies. So we're always running numbers. My accountant's always dragging me back to center, bringing me back down to earth and saying, no, you don't really want to jump off that cliff right now because it's not a prudent decision. And left to my own devices, I would be off running, jumping off cliffs that I had no business jumping off of. So this week, as a creative, take a few minutes, think about how you kind of naturally process those things. Just think about them. Are you a why bother creative or a why not creative? Doesn't matter which one you are. It just helps us determine which types of business solutions that your creative brand, which is unique to the marketplace, it helps us determine what kind of systems we need to put in place for you. This is Ann McDonald. We've got one more week, I think, maybe 2 more weeks of Walking in Wisdom before this cycle ends. If you want more information on our next course, it opens, the registration is actually open now. Our next course is going to start on April 14th, runs for 12 weeks. I'll see you next week.